Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another one. It's your favorite YouTuber, Nostalgia Bong Hits. And we're back. Yes, got ugly solar panels on my neighbor's house. Look at those. They're like little strips. Anyway, we're back. And today we have a lot to talk about. Welcome in. And I really want to go over some vintage cards and just why Pokemon is truly the most explosive thing I've ever seen. And I have a lot of fun, nostalgic things to talk about. I want to start this off. It was when I was a kid. I used to get on the bus. And I mean, man, the amount of money that was on these school buses in the year of it was the year 2000 is insane. I used to get on the school bus. I think everybody will enjoy this story. I used to get on the bus and I would buy and sell Pokemon cards. Not a lot's changed. And the crazy thing is we used to rip first edition packs on the bus. Like they were nothing. I had backpacks, like a backpack full of base set packs. I had a first edition Charizard. I had two first edition Gyarados. There was a few different Mewtwo's. And just tons of first edition cards that were in my hands that I sold for nothing. Like my first edition Charizard I sold for $20 on a school bus. It's crazy looking back at it now. And you could buy first edition full binders on a school bus for $50. A full first edition base set. And when I look at things today, and this was just my school bus. Every school bus was like this growing up. They were like a fucking stock market where all the kids were trading. And I used to think my parents would think I was selling drugs or something at school because I would come home with a backpack full of change and Pokemon. And the thing that blows my mind is I didn't even need to do this. My parents had money. That if they would have threw a small portion of their wealth into Pokemon, it would be just disgusting today. Truly life-changing money. And you could buy first edition Blastoises for $5. On the bus, you could buy, and everybody, I'm talking every kid had tons of first edition. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in second grade, and it was just insane. You would go to recess, and it was every table was just filled with first edition Gyarados, first edition Mewtwo's, first edition Charizards. Looking back at it, it truly blows my mind that it's I think all of us would kill to get on that school bus today. The amount of life-changing money that was there is just mind-boggling when I look back at it. There was one point where I actually had a mostly full backpack full of base set packs. I sold them all. Sold mostly every Pokemon thing I had as a kid. And, there was some kid that would buy a bunch of first ed cards from me and give me $2 bills. I have a backpack full of $2 bills and quarters. Not a lot's changed. It's made me realize over time. Now, I want to fast forward to modern. And Evolving Skies It was 125 a booster box. And if you put 50 grand in Evolving Skies, like I was going to, it's $1 million today. 1 million to a T. Not a lot has changed. Not a lot has changed. If you held stocks, you've done nowhere near these gains. And if you've held crypto, you've done nowhere near these gains. It truly is insane looking at it. It really is. And, I mean, even recently, like we just had the Skyridge Charizard that I was going to buy at 15,000. I remember seeing it at 10 grand, watching it go to 15 grand, saying, I missed it already. The last Skyridge PSA 10 Charizard sold for like 115,000 or 110,000. It did this in like 2 months, went from like 15 grand to over 100K. The Gengar from Expeditions went from, 10, 15,000, 20,000 to over 100,000. And Holland Phantoms Pack's another one. I was telling everybody, you guys need to focus on these vintage sets when everyone was worried about modern and not many people listened. And I mean, I was saying this when Holland Phantoms packs were $500, $700. Now they're, if you bought blister packs, they're like $5 grand. By the way, there is a heavy pack on eBay of Holland Phantoms for $3 grand. I highly recommend buying that. If you're like on eBay a good bit, it's on there right now. I would highly recommend buying that, the heavy pack of Holland for $3K. That's a good deal. I want to go over a few different deals and recommendations. I did see a case of Fusion Strike Pokemon Center ATBs pop up for $2,100. And if it's still there, didn't get bought up instantly, highly recommend looking on eBay and buying that. But I want to go over a few vintage cards that haven't quite exploded yet, that are just weird Pokemon that are low pop. And I'm going to start off with Crobat. Crobat from Skyridge is about $4,000 on eBay in a PSA 10. And it's a beautiful card. It has like the Crobat's upside down. The hollow pattern looks sick. That's a card I'm looking into buying. But it's like $4 grand. And if it even follows close to the same pattern as the Gengar, you know what I mean? Like, I could see that Crobat be like a $10,000 card. And people may think well, but it's Crobat. No one likes Crobat. I mean, there's some beautiful Crobat cards out there, bro. I don't know what to tell people. There's some beautiful Crobat cards out there. And, I mean, even the Articuno from Skyridge is like 12 grand. I still don't think that's terrible. That's another card that'll probably go up more. But like Golem, not that popular Pokemon, $12,000 from Skyridge in a 10. But the Crobat's a beautiful card. Search up the Skyridge Crobat. I've actually became a huge, kind of a big Crobat fan. It's interesting enough. There's a lot of beautiful Crobat cards out there. But yeah, the Skyridge Crobat's beautiful. But still 4,000 in a 10. And I mean, I want to put it this way. I mean, the Moonbreon's, what, $4,000 or $5,000 in a 10? It's just modern. The Crobat's like pop 150 or something. There's not, you compare it to modern, that's like 25,000. These pops of the Crobat's way less. And quite frankly, it's sicker looking cards than the Moonbreon, in my opinion, and it's vintage. But this is why I made videos months ago warning everybody about vintage. I mean, Holland Phantoms booster boxes, they were 40 grand. I mean, you can't even find one today. I was looking online yesterday. You can't even find one for sale. good luck. Like you could find them for like 140. I don't even think you can find them for 140,000 now at all. You could have found them for 40 grand. And uh, like we look at Team Rocket returns, it's a $313,000 box, and it was like 50 or 60 grand. That I think even if you can find a Hall and Phantoms booster box, you're probably going to be paying almost 300,000 fucking dollars. And I think Pokey Plumber has one. I don't know if he still. I don't know if he watches my videos or not. I swear he does. But if you do watch my videos, Plumber, and you bought Hall and Phantoms because of me, you fucker, you owe me some shit. but um, but yeah, these were killer investments. I mean, I think Holland's probably close to 300K now. You could have bought it like 4 months ago, not even 3 months ago, for like 40 grand. The prices have changed that much in such a short period of time. I mean, like, that's like life changing money to someone. Like 40K to 300K. And a lot of these windows are closing, like the Skyridge Charizard, and that's like why everyone's arguing about these like modern era sets that is the Pokemon market crashing. It's like anyone that's paying attention to the full picture, we can clearly see Pokemon's not going anywhere. I mean, how could it? I don't, it's been 20 some years, and like the vintage markets made people filthy rich, the modern markets made people filthy rich. I mean, at every point of the way. I mean, if you bought Evolving Skies, you got rich. If you bought 151 UPCs, you got rich. Uh, like you 10x your investment on 151 in a short period of time. You 25x your investment on Evolving Skies. I mean, Pokemon has really done some just life-changing shit. That it's like, if you went hard at any time, 3 months ago or back, you've made a shit ton of money. I mean, there's no denying that. But that's why I say it's important to pay attention to, low pop PSA 10 vintage. I mean, the Mews. Hall and Phantom's Mew exploded. Southern Islands Mew from like $15,000-$20,000 in a PSA 10 to $250,000. I mean, like, Pokemon has made such a statement on the market that it has outperformed like every single investment you could think of. Every single thing. And the rare stuff has went insane. And I mean, even back in 2021, when everyone thought the markets were cooked for vintage, that the vintage was at its highest point it could go, it turns out it was the cheapest it could possibly be. No, the cheapest it could possibly be, but it was still really cheap. And that's why I have pretty good faith that I really doubt much is going to change. I think the new Rayquaza's made Quaza. And the 30th will probably do good. I don't think they'll print the 30th into the ground. I think they'll try to print a lot, but it'll get bought up. But I don't think it'll change much. And everybody, when one of these new sets comes out, everybody's like, oh, it's going to crash the entire market, blah, blah, blah. It's like, from what I'm seeing, it may crash some like ultra water and shit, but I don't see any way to kill the not being printed stuff's prices. I, I, I just it's too big. There's too many people in it now. You know, there's too many people that care about it. That watch it every day and wait for the dibs. That I just, my friend asked me, he said, what's the next card? Like, what do you think will be the next thing that's that's like Pokemon? I said, probably nothing. Probably nothing. Because nothing has that nostalgia factor to it. Like nothing brings you back. Like I could argue silver because the money system's gonna probably crash. I mean, we just watched the stock market start crashing pretty heavy today because of Kevin Warsh's speech. Once again, he didn't do anything. Big surprise. But like we just watched that happen, and I mean, like probably silver and gold. Other than that, I don't see anything beating Pokemon because it was just such a nostalgic thing to people that, like, you grew up around it. It was engraved in your mind. First edition Charizard was engraved in your mind at a very young age to be valuable, to be, the shit. And it's the same thing with like Sword and Shield era, like the Moonbreon's engraved in our minds, the Charizard from 151's engraved in your mind, the Gengar from Fusion Strike's engraved in your mind. That's why I'm still bullish on Fusion Strike, is because a lot of people may have sold off or lost faith in it. I'm still really bullish on the set long term because it's like 5 years old, it's out of print. The Gengar is a stunning card. It just digs its look into your mind as a valuable card. And Lugia from Silver Tempest, another one. Like these all just like the Greninja even from Twilight. They dig their pictures into your mind is extremely valuable. The Rayquaza from Ancient Origins, probably one of the best looking Rayquaza they've ever made, in my opinion, from Ancient Origins. That's a set that has just done nothing but go up. Ancient Origins was a $1,200 box when I bought mine, or maybe it was $1,800. I don't know. Now it's like $9 grand because the sets have nostalgia, and I just don't see that changing. Like there's already been a lot of competition that's tried to compete with Pokemon, and it just can't kill its track record of when it gets older. It just becomes more fucking classic. But especially like the low pop vintage has just done things that I know no one ever believed would happen. I mean, created life-changing wealth. Like, it was one thing to, collect Skyridge Charizard because you like it in a PSA 10. But it's like, to think it would go from 15 grand to 110,000, a 10x return, fucking turn 10K to 100K. And there's a lot of people that think that the hobby's dying. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's far from it, I think. I don't think they can release a new set that will crash vintage and older sets. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe the 30th turns out to be that set that absolutely is so good that it makes everyone not want vintage. I don't know. I don't know if that's their game plan or what. But like from what I've seen being in Pokemon over the past 6-7 years, it just seems like it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Like the prices are just some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. I can definitely say that. But I'm starting to want to become a Golbat collector. I really am. Like I really love the Golbats. Uh, like the vintage Golbats. The Butterfree from Expeditions is another one. You can get the Japanese Butterfree for like 11 grand. I know a lot of people this advice goes way over their head because it's too expensive. But like the Expeditions Butterfree is a beautiful card. That card in the PSA 10 was another one you guys missed out on. It was like 10, 15 grand. The Butterfree, that card that no one would think would be popular, it's over 100 grand from Expeditions, I'm pretty sure now. Butterfree. I mean, like I think the Golem from Skyridge is another one. It's still like 10 to 12 grand. It's a classic looking card. The Articuno as well. It's like 10 to 12K. Beautiful card. But like Muck even. There's the Neo Muck is such a beautiful card. Still not that expensive. First edition Muck isn't that bad. I've always kind of wanted to get that card. But I mean, yeah, sometimes you gotta dig off the grain a little bit because all the major cards are really expensive now. But like I don't doubt that the Skyridge Crobat will probably be very expensive in a PSA 10. Low pop, no one opens Skyridge, it's expensive. I mean, think about it, Skyridge pack's what, like 5 or 6 grand? You're getting a PSA 10 Crobat for 4, less than it even costs to open up a pack and send the card to grading. I mean, not like terrible, really, when you think about it. It's a sick card too. It has like all the bats upside down. But I mean, these are just things that are like, I could be totally wrong. This card may do nothing. I don't know. But like to me, with the low pops, I mean, cause you have to understand, like with something like that Crobat, it has a 150 pop. Gengar from Fusion Strike has 25,000 or something like that. And I mean, granted, the Gengar's sick, but like that Crobat has a low pop. It's tough to grade. There's not a lot of them out there. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting to check on that card in a couple months because something tells me I do this all the time. I'll not buy for 4 grand, and then I'll check in like a month and it'll be like 30. But it's wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. There's a Crobat from what is it? It's like a moon looking Crobat. I forget what set it's from. I think it's a Neo Destiny Crobat or Neo Genesis Crobat. What a beautiful card. But the thing that matters is them being in perfect condition. You know, it's like I don't really care if the card's a 9. The thing that matters is the perfect condition. I really wish I would have went around buying way more vintage cards that were in perfect condition, that are raw, and went to more shows. You know, just going to booths every day, looking at raw vintage cards and just buying up all the nice ones. And instead I didn't. And now I deeply regret that. But I don't know. That's just some things I wanted to go over. I do want to talk about silver. It even seems like the normies are starting to freak out and not trust Warsh and be like, whoa, maybe they're here to fuck us. Like, yeah, no shit. But I've seen like even like a lot of these stupider channels that are just like young kids making videos that really don't know what they're talking about. They're like 20. Even they're like freaking out. They're like, I don't know. Do you trust the Fed? Like, fuck no. And like I had in my shorts, they can literally just digitally print shit tons of money. They said there's unlimited amounts of money. That's the scary thing. Is that even though silver technically was only $1 at first, they can debase the money so badly, digitally, where they just type in a keystroke. That, I mean, they could make silver thousands of dollars an ounce just because the money's such a joke. Anyway, I don't know. Do with this information what you will. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're out.